Good morning. Ira Epstein with your Morning Flash Update. And this update is for the morning as we're sitting here now on Thursday. And this is the 6th of April, 2023. Chicago's going to be in the 70s next week. I can't believe it. 75, in fact, they're saying. And it is 8:25 a.m. I'm excited about that. You know, we're formally now leaving that cold weather behind us. And actually, we have blue skies, which is something we rarely have in the wintertime in the Midwest, and we have it now. So it's beautiful. Let's talk about where we're at. Tomorrow morning, we'll get the jobs report. However, the stock markets won't be open. It's Good Friday. I wish they'd work and get that in sync. I don't think you should be releasing important data when the stock markets can't react to it. The futures will be open, though, early in the morning. They close later. They have abbreviated trading hours for Good Friday tomorrow. So tonight you'll have your normal evening trade, but very early close tomorrow. So be careful of that. Adjust yourself accordingly, please. As for the day's data, why don't we go to that first and see what we have? The Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, they announced 89,703 cuts, which is up 15% from the February announcement. Now, we get to jobless claims. It's a strange number. Do you remember last report we had last week was about 200,000? You're down 18 from 228. In other words, there was a big adjustment, nearly 50,000, that they found more cuts. So this is down, but that's 2 weeks in a row then where we're in the, let's call it the 240, 250 cuts. Something's going on. I told you there were wobbles showing up in a lot of the ISM data that we've been looking at. Now we're getting this. I would not be surprised if the jobs report starts showing even more. The problem will be in the service sector. I'm going to repeat that over and over. That is where the strength has been. When we finally see it wobble there, and we did have one report that showed some of that yesterday in the healthcare area, but if we get to that, then I think you're at an inflection point. And that point being that suddenly bad news is bad news. Right now, as you know, what we've had is the naysayers, as I like to call them, say that the bad news now, the Fed will never keep going. They're going to have to do blah, 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 and they're never going to continue with this. They're going to start cutting rates this year. Well, number one, I'm not in that camp at all. If I were to join the camp, you'd have to have 3 reports in a row that are weakness and the economy taking a harder hit than it's been taking. What I do expect is that we're going to see, for the first time, as we see bank earnings coming up next week and we get back into the earnings season, if you will, from the first quarter, that there's wobbles all over the place. And that means bad news could be bad news. Consider that. I'm of the opinion when we take a look today, and by the way, St. Louis Fed president talking, and these are they're looking for the natural gas to show a draw of 20. At this time of the year, you normally go pretty flat, so I wouldn't expect too much there. But here's what I'm looking at. For those of you that are students of the Bollinger Bands and the way that I do them with the momentum, if you today lose the embedded reading, I think that you've made a top in the stock indices on this rally. Don't pick it. Let it do its thing. If it doesn't do it, you could go back up here into take out today's high and continue up. But when it occurs, and I'm beginning to think that it might occur, I won't cherry pick it. I'd rather be long than short until it loses it. It's that simple. Then I'm looking. In the British pound, we've backed off nicely from the area where we had the upper Bollinger Band in the 125.4 area. And bingo, you're backing off on that market. We're getting a good rally in the dollar index. I have been looking for this rally to tell my clients, think of the short side. In the grain market, don't try doing in grains and at this time of the year being bullish. That's what I tell traders always at this time. This is when the farmers are out there planting from fence post to fence post. That is not bullish. That is bearish unless they can't get the plantings in. And there's always some weather element, but we just had the bad storms. And those tractors are in the field. And they're not bogged down in the mud that so many thought. Now, are they in it in all areas of Iowa, Indiana, and Illinois? Of course not. It's early to do soybean planting especially. But corn planting? No, I took a drive. I see what's going on. They're out there. Cotton getting a nice little bid. And the energy market, maybe the $85 area in Brent, which is what I think should stall. Why? Bollinger Bands, you went up to the top of them, be careful of that. Please be careful of that. Learn how to use Bollinger Bands. With that in mind, if I were to tell you that there's one thing that I'd want to leave as my legacy, it's what I discovered with them. It's the one tool that I think is the best one I've ever seen. If you want to learn how to work with it, watch this, invest in yourself. It's a simple, inexpensive course. I think it'll change the way you look at them. I'm Ira Epstein. Here you go. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.